excited to announce our second strong, powerful female speaker of today, which for me just is very, very exciting. As a female trader myself, we are a bit of a minority. Psychology is a very, very important part of what we do. And if you don't know that yet, you'll probably find out soon anyways. And I hope it's not too big of a hit. But mindset is such an important part when it comes to trading and knowing how to manage your risk in a way that's suitable to how you understand the markets and how you trade. The next speaker we have today is one of Australia's most regarded trading performance coaches, and a lot of you know her as well, and a lot of you I know got into trading because of her as well. So I'd like to announce our next speaker, Mandi.
Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you. Okay. Hello, traders. What a phenomenal lineup of speakers. And I'm confident that each and every one of you got at least one piece of information that will allow you to improve your performance over the next year. And with that, you will improve your profitability. But what I also know is that it's not only knowing what to do, it's more so the discipline of doing what you know. And that's where usually the challenges lie for traders. And especially with the volatility this year, I get a lot more traders who are complaining about going on tilt, revenge trading. So they are so much more emotional and try catching up on their trading losses, making losses back to end up in a profit, and that trips them over. So what I want you to know is that there is a way to resolve that. And we are going to talk about this because what I also see is a lot of traders who have the best years ever. They're doing so phenomenally well, and I will share a few insights with you what they are doing that allows them to do so well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I started trading, and that I think is the case for most newbies, we all have those dreams and lofty goals, right? We dream about being financially free. We are dreaming about being, having authority over our own time, so time freedom. And we dream about being able to be the heroes for our families and provide for them a phenomenal life, right? Making so much money that they can fly first class and all those dreams. I've heard them all. But then what happens? Reality kicks in, right? Analyzing the markets is not so easy as they said it would be. We are struggling with discipline. And suddenly all those fears and insecurities start bubbling up that we didn't even know we had. And that's then when you realize that there's a lot more work to be done, that trading is not so easy. But the thing is, what do most traders do when those challenges come up? They start complaining, they start whinging, same, just Australian word. And they start feeling so hopeless and helpless and upset, and all this emotional roller coaster starts. And that's what keeps them stuck in that situation. Now, by definition, a goal is something that's like in front of us, right? That's something that's removed from us. If we already had the tools and the skills and the mindset to achieve that goal, we would already have it. And so you need to remember that the way, whatever is in the way, is actually the way to achieving your goals. And so let's say you're a trader who is not disciplined. Well, that's the thing that's in the way for you to achieve your goal of whatever you have as a full-time trader. And that's what you need to resolve to grow and evolve as a trader. It's not that the markets are out there to test us. It's the markets are out there to show us where our weaknesses are so that we can bring out the best in us and live up to our full potential. That's really what it is. I always say, tell me your goals and I know your dreams. But tell me your standards and expectations of yourself and I know what you will achieve in life. Because if you're a trader, for example, who lets the losses run, it's simply that you have very low standards. And you have to learn to grow and grow your standards and grow your expectations of yourself so that you then can achieve your goal. It's kind of like if you want to hike to the top of a summit, you need to have physical fitness. And if you want to, reach the tops of your equity curve, you have to have mental fitness. And so mental fitness is as important as physical fitness also in, when you hike mountains. Anyone who has been hiking mountains and the legs hurt and you still push forward, well, that's the same that's required in trading. Now, again, what most traders forget is that needs to be practiced and trained. Mental fitness is something that doesn't come automatically to us. The rise to the top does not come automatically to us. We need to fight for it. And, when you have those challenging times, ask yourself, what is my superpower? What I'm really good at? What am I capable of? And I guarantee you're capable of so much more than you ever knew. And because most traders, they come from putting themselves down and being upset with themselves, wherever you are, start with a growth mindset. And even if you don't feel like a growth mindset, even if you feel down and out and disappointed in yourself, always revert back to growth mindset. That's where it starts. And if anyone here is looking for a magic solution from me, I wave the magic wand and then you can be disciplined, I have to disappoint you because I haven't found that magic wand myself. So it's always coming back to doing what needs to be done in order to succeed. Now, the 3 steps that I'm going to teach you is something that I do with my traders as well. And it's proven to be phenomenally efficient. And it's not, as I said, an easy fix, a magic pill. It actually requires some work. The very first thing is you need to define what the problem is that you're dealing with. Traders email me or they call me and they say, Mandi, I went on tilt, I completely screwed up. And it's like, okay, I need a little bit more information. It's like going to the mechanic and saying, hey, my car doesn't work. Or my tires, there's something wrong with my tires. So you need to give more information. And then when I say, so what specifically is it that's not working in your trading? Most traders don't know the answer. So to begin with, what I always do is, what kind of market are we in? And what are the challenges of this specific market? Well, not something that you would expect in a mindset conversation, is it? But it's so important. When we look at the pitfalls that the traders are currently experiencing, it's the markets are moving so fast, and there's almost no follow-through. So these are real-life examples from my traders that are collated. Right? They get caught up in that little chop here, and then they miss the follow-through. So after that was actually a nice follow-through, and they missed that because they get caught up in this chop. The other problem is that the ranges, okay, not working. Help. Here we go. The ranges of each candle, they're so massively big. I mean, look, this is a 60-point candle on the US 30. And it's incredibly hard to manage your risk. So a trader of mine, she's using ATR as a risk management. And it works well, right? It's a really incredible tool. But if we translate that into a dollar loss, the dollar loss is far too big. So now we needed to reinvent how she is doing her risk management. She's an American trader, so she's not lucky like us that we have a Pepperstone that we can trade CFDs on and then really trade like tiny amounts, right? We can really minimize our trading size. In the States, they are not that lucky. So it's a little bit of a tricky situation. And the next challenge, so another trader of mine, he's done incredibly well over the last 10 years, made millions of dollars. This year, disaster, really hard. Why? Because whatever worked in the past is not working anymore. And, for him, I have to say, for the style of trading that it was for him, because we also have traders who are very versatile and they can really pretty much trade any market, it doesn't matter. So these are the 3 main challenges that I see traders experience, in a nutshell. Now, what we need to know next is, great, that's what the market gives us, but how does it look in our own trading? And again, I give you real-life examples of the work that I do with my traders. And you will see, it's, it takes a little bit of work, but it's so worth it. And it's fun. I love it. And my traders too. So success does not come with experience. It comes with reflecting on your experiences. And that's a really important piece that so many traders miss, because again, when I say, well, how specifically did you go on tilt? They're like, I don't know. I just, woke up and then my account is 50% down, kind of. I went on automated, pressing the mouse button. Like, I don't even know what happened to me. I can't even imagine how I did that. How could I be so stupid? And fair enough, it's the automatic behavior, but then you really have to put the effort in and look at what does that look like on your chart. So this trader here was one of those guys. It's like, oh, I messed up. And he started hesitating on this epic move. So that was like his favorite long entry. But it moved so fast, right? It's the other thing. The markets are moving so fast at the moment that you need to be switched on and you need to make quick decisions in the heat of the moment and then trust that. So he missed that one. You see this epic move to the upside. And then it rolled over and he tried to go long. And he tried to go long as well. So he started going on tilt out of frustration because he missed that move. And then again, here he went long, got whipsawed out. It finally came up. So now he missed again out on this massive profit, right? Triple frustration. And here before the close, he got desperate. He's like, oh, here's a double bottom. I go long. And then bang, 30% down on the day. Right? So, yeah, but that's the reality. I see it all the time, right? And that's what you guys have to do. You can't just say, oh, I went on tilt. You really need to sit down and ask yourself, how does that look on my chart? And when you have a visual representation of what happened, I guarantee you it will help you to improve. Because what we then do afterwards is we will train you to not do that anymore. Now, look at this trader. He wanted to buy the dip. That was pretty much at the beginning. That was May 22. Then closed out, tried again, closed out, and then he bought more, and then he bought again more, and he was in a profit. But then he went short somewhere here. I can't remember what that was. It's a while ago. But he got so frustrated with getting in and getting taken out all the time that when it really counted, he didn't get out and he let it run. Again, his account was blown up, closed at a massive loss. And so that was kind of another version of going on tilt. So you can see when you do that kind of work, and with Pepperstone or MT5, you can do that. You can look at the history of your trades. Then you see all the entries and exits and you get in a shock. Like, did I really do that? But the more you bring that to the surface level, your automatic behavior, the more you can deal with it. Now here's another one, martingale into losing positions. This trader here did really well over the last 3 years. Relatively new trader. And what he did, he kept buying the dip, right? We remember BTFD. We even had hats made up with BTFD. Buy the fucking dip, by the way, if you don't know what it means. I'm sorry, I know it's not ladylike, but it's what they put on the hat. So he tried to keep doing the same thing. Here he was rewarded pretty much for doing the wrong thing all the time because the market just kept pushing up. Even if he was in a loss, he knew the market's going to turn around and keep pushing up, being rewarded for not doing risk and money management. Here, wow, it killed him. Again, similar time, the May-June area, that's the XJO, I think it is. And but you can see similar patterns. And what we see that there's only so many things traders can do to screw up their accounts. They can only go cutting their profits short, letting their profits run, martingaling, going on tilt revenge trading, and not taking their entries. But the thing is, if you don't take your entries, you don't have a loss. So, it's pretty safe. Now, once you know what it is that you predominantly do, and I guarantee you there will always be one main behavior that you do that is repeated all the time. It's the old 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you will make the same mistakes that lead to 100% of your profits. And when you know what specifically that is, you don't need to be superhuman. You don't need to be Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. You just need to find out this one thing that you do to screw up your trading and then fix that. And then you look at the one thing that you're like really good at, that's your superpower, and then you do more of that. For some people it's scalping, for others it's long-term investing. It doesn't matter, whatever it is for you. Now, the question that everybody is really quick asking me is like, how do I fix this? Now, before we can fix, we need to look at when we did these behaviors on the chart, what was our mind doing at that time? Ooh, what was our mind doing at that time? And again, it's always the same pattern. No matter what mistakes you do, or we do, I do as well, it's always the same pattern. Something happens, an unforced error or a loss, and that triggers some sort of self-talk. Oh man, I had to give the profit back. I need to pay the bills. What will my partner say? I wanted to go on holidays. I suck. Will I ever be successful? Whatever it is, you need to know what your self-talk is. And guys, it doesn't need to be complicated. Keep it simple. Right? I find trading psychology and mindset work has become so complicated nowadays. Oh my God, my head is exploding. Just keep it on one surface level and work on that one thing. You don't need to know everything about how to be a superhuman. So now you know your self-talk, and your self-talk either makes you feel good or bad, right? Simple. If I say, I suck, will I ever make it? I feel bad. If I say, I'm going to find a way, I'm going to fight my way back, I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel in charge, right? So it's all about the way you're thinking, the way you're talking to yourself, that creates certain emotions, and the emotions, they impact our behavioral patterns. Simple, right? So when we feel bad, that causes stress. What is stress? Stress is simply the fear of not getting what you want, or the fear of getting what you don't want. Well, losses or profits, right? Simple. So ask yourself, what is it that I'm afraid of? Is it that I'm afraid of losses, or is it that I'm afraid of not getting my profits? Because that will also give you an insight on how you habitually think. And then when you know what happens in terms of your fears, because we know stress responses, tilt, oversizing. I did a personal training session with my personal trainer, and oh my God, he really put me under stress. And I immediately started doing my repetitions. I had to crawl on the floor and lift my legs into some weird thing, and it hurt. And I started to rush through it, and he said, slow down, slow down. And I said, I didn't even realize I was rushing. He said, yeah, that was your stress response because I'm pushing you. I'm like, wow, this is like trading. That's what we do, right, when we have a stress response. And then when you have the stress response, of course, we do more mistakes and more losses, and then this is this vicious cycle. And every trader asks me, how do I fix that? How do I get out of that? But before you can answer this question, you need to do more retrospection. You need to do more analysis of how specifically you made that mistake. Because if we do that, that puts us automatically into the driver's seat. We start feeling something like this beautiful word self-efficacy, which pretty much means that you feel like you're at the course of your life again. What most traders experience who go into this cycle, they experience helplessness and hopelessness. And when you have that, it's not a big problem, right? You realize, oh, I feel helpless or hopeless. I can now transform that and put myself back into the driver's seat. So this is the level of awareness that is really simple to follow through. Maybe write it down. Whatever, not everybody likes writing. So some, they talk it out on their phone. There's like so many apps now with different ways of doing your journaling. Now, once you understand this cycle, and you know what specifically you're doing at each level, now, yay, we start fixing whatever needs to be fixed. Now, I remember I had a partner, and he loved cars. And we were on Sundown Racecourse. Sundown Racecourse is a car racetrack down south. And we were driving down the straight, and we were like really fast. And so he wanted to brake before we get into the curve. And the brakes failed because the mechanic put in the wrong brake fluid, right? So it was too hot. And I was so scared because there's a wall at the end of the curve, and I thought we were going to crash into the wall. But my partner, he just laughed, right? He loved it. And he went to the side where the gravel is. Now I know where there's gravel on the side of the road. He used the Triptronic to slow down to gear down the car, and then when we were slow enough, he used the handbrakes, did 180, and thought he's James Bond. Like, he was so pleased with himself. But you can see, when you have the skill, you don't need to be afraid. I was so freaked out, I thought I'm going to die, because I didn't know even that he had that skill. And this is the same with trading and mindset and trading psychology. A lot of trading psychology problems are being eliminated if you focus on practicing your skill first. And if there's still something left, then you know at least you have eliminated everything else. You have practiced your skill, you're really good at it. And let's say you know when to take your losses, but you don't take them. There's immense anxiety creeping up. Then we can go into the mindset work. But that, what I just showed you, is so much easier to do than mindset work, because mindset work you can't do on your own, frankly. That you can. So, I don't have my computer here, but hey, Pepperstone and Riksha sent me this beautiful link. They have this amazing live market replay tool for free. So what you can do is you can go back to the beginning of the year and pretend that you're trading the market again and enter trades and close them, and you get your statistics. You can see exactly how you did. Right? So this is a tool that's available for free for you. There's tools out there, Trading Sim has one for the American traders. They can't use 75 again. That costs like a few, I don't know, I think $30 or so a month. Right? Here we get it for free. Now, what does that look like? This trader had a fear of giving profits back, and he exited too early. So what happened was, he's like, oh, here's a double bottom. That's the Dow, by the way. Here's a double bottom, I go long. And he went long really early. He went long, that's a daily, I believe. Yeah, that's a daily. He went long on the intraday chart, made a beautiful profit, and then this happened. And, the sideways pattern, and he got uncertain. He didn't trust himself anymore. In the past, the double bottom patterns failed, and he's like, oh, this is going to fail again. So he got out here, and look what happened. 2,000-point move he missed. Here, he's like, oh, graveyard doji, or whatever it's called. Some sort of reversal pattern. He went short like a world champion, because what did he think? He thought, well, I'm going to make everything that I missed here back on the move down. But look what happened. Another big candle up, another 1,000-point move, I think, close to 1,000 points. He got completely obliterated. Right? So this is how our mind works tricks on us. And when you see that on the chart, right, like, what specifically did I do? That's his annotations. He's like, now I get it. So what we did with him, we went on live market replay, because we realized what his challenge was not a mindset thing. He came to me and said, oh, I've got problems with my mindset. I always cut my profits short. No, dude, you don't know how to distinguish between a reversal pattern and a continuation pattern. Yeah. So we went and practiced that. And guess what? Now that he knows how to distinguish between those two patterns, his mindset has suddenly improved by 1,000%. Fancy that. Now, also, there's so many amazing people on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter. I love Twitter. Like, I met Callum on Twitter before I even spoke to him, right? And Tarek and Louise already knew, because she's a Melbourne girl like me. But so look at Michael Guyot, amazing guy. I'm actually going to do Twitter Spaces with him, my first Twitter Spaces on the 21st of November, so I'm quite excited. This guy already on the, I don't know if you can see it, on the 2nd of October said the market is going to go up like crazy. And look at what happened 2 weeks later. So you can learn from people who are already experienced. These guys are super experienced. And I also want to show you another one from our fabulous Chris Weston. So here, this trader He went short like a world champion on the DAX, made super amazing profits, was, I finally managed to make a great profit. I know how to trade. My future looks amazing. And he kept going short, made money. But then he kept going short again, and the market rallied up. He kept adding to his shorts until he blew up. And I'm like, dude. And he's an Australian guy, so he knows Chris. Chris already, in the morning, before the market moved up, put out a tweet. Look, there is SAP raises the outlook on the DAX. It's going to go up. So we have all these amazing resources. And, I love your talks with Blake Morrow. If you guys don't listen to those talks, what are they called again? I forgot. The trade-off. There you go. Amazing. I learned so much because Blake Morrow is another amazing trader. So it's all out there. Right? If you don't have enough knowledge yourself, it's all there for free even on Twitter. So just to show you quickly, because I'm running out of time. Oh my God, 25 minutes, how did that happen? Can I have another 5 minutes? Is that okay with you? No? Yeah? Cool. Otherwise I'll go and get drunk in the bar as well. Okay, cool. So this guy made an enormous amount of profits, super happy, kept going short here, then it started going up. He hedged and hedged and hedged and added more shorts and then blew up, right? So more examples. Now this trader here, and that's really important, you can see that's a 1 minute chart going on tilt. Can you see the entries and the exits? And then he emailed me, he's like, I made a real mess of my account. What was I thinking? Now this trader, and that's why I really want to talk about that, this trader didn't have any foundations in place. Before you even start thinking about trading mindset, trading skill set, you need to have the foundations in place. And I love Linda Rushke's book, Trading Sardines, and these are some quotes from her. If you don't know Linda Rushke, she's a market wizard. She's one of the most successful traders in the world. And there's, I believe, some treats coming for you guys as well. But so, before you start with talking about mindset, you need to have the foundations in place in terms of, do you prepare for the markets every day? Linda is so big on that. You have to prepare the night before, because what also happens on our mindset level is that when you prepare the night before, your brain already works, it processes information, and then the next day you see a trade and you're like, yeah, that's it. And you think, oh wow, that's my intuition. And yes, it is your intuition because your brain already practiced. Record keeping is a critical part of building a good foundation. Do you look at your statistics? Do you even know how to read statistics? Because most traders don't keep statistics because they don't know how to read them. Do you know what your profit factor is? Most traders know what their profit-loss ratio is, and it's like, who cares? If you say, I've got a 90-10% profit-loss ratio, that's just your ego, because I can tell you some of my best traders who have like 7-figure years, they have something like a 40-60 profit-loss ratio. That means 6 out of 10 trades are losses. You need to know what your profit factor is. If you don't know what it is, Google it. So you need to always clean up your act. Linda believes in closing out her trades immediately because she says, if I go with a negative energy into the next day, I can't make good decisions. So she's like cutting her losses. Like, I don't want to have this baggage hanging on me. So cut your losses, cut your losses. And she believes in the power of team. Now, this trader here, again, he went on tilt, losing so much. One day, that's a 1 minute chart or a 2 minute chart. And I said to him, what happened? And he's like, excuse me, it's his words, not mine. I know it's not ladylike. It's like, I fucking hate losing. I'm like, so you tell me you want to be in the top 1% of traders, but you want to do what the 99% of losing traders do. This is like saying I want to have a six-pack and I want to eat pizza and have beer every night. Doesn't work, right? You need to lift your game. Doesn't work. So we did a little bit of work on him. This trader then started making mistakes because we all make mistakes. And what I find, a lot of traders, they're trying to get perfection. I never want to make mistakes again. He still made mistakes, but then he kept his cool. Oh, that's the chart, right. He kept his cool, and then he made money on these 3 trades. Sorry, I thought that was the other chart where he actually blew up his account. That's the chart where he had actually grown as a trader, where when he made the mistake, he still kept his cool, he still kept focused on the markets and on reading what the chart is telling him. And I believe I ran out of time. And so I want to leave you with this one thing. Again, Linda Rushke, one of the most successful traders in the world, in her first 6 months of trading, lost 60,000 US dollars, which was 1982. So you can imagine it would be like 100,000 today. And she went on and became one of the best traders in the world. So every winning trader has a dark past, and every losing trader has a bright future. I hope you got some useful insights, and you have a fabulous night.